This is a general style presentation, and because I'm sort of going to slide over the top, I guess. So I thought it'd be useful if there are things that you want to dive down deeper, and I'm happy to stop and dive at any point. Happy to take red herrings. Happy to expand a little bit. If you really want to get down to some technical policy stuff, I'll have to get someone to talk to you about that one, because I've got some specialists in various subject areas who know a hell of a lot more than I do. So I thought we'd sort of launch off with that one, get back to the camera, and then see how we go. Now, a year or so ago, I came here, and I'm not sure whether you're in the room here, and I think I was saying there's a hell of a lot going on. Well, it's got worse. So there's just so much going on, I just cannot believe it. And of course, it's all unplanned. There is no national strategy. There is no national view of the future. They're just doing stuff. And often it's political stuff. NDIS, for one, I think it's more a political wedge tool than an actual serious go at policy, such as Gonski the other day. So there's a whole bunch of things and get some real action happening. And I think NDIS will go on, but for all of the things we're talking about, it's where's the money? Because we're talking about lots of, and I'll talk a little bit about what the money is, because it's already frightening how much we spend, and we're going to need to spend some more. So I thought I would, if that worked for me, give a little bit of who we are, and there's some shifts a little bit in what the National Industry Skills Council are doing, so I'll address that a little bit. Talk about some changes in the training environment. I'm happy to be drawn a little bit with views on what's happening in the higher ed environment, because it's an area that we going to need to get more into, because the moves between vet and higher ed, I think, are increasing in some of our sectors especially, and like paramedics are already trying to move there. Changes in community service and health environment, talk some about the key messages out of environmental scan, and we'll show a YouTube clip if you haven't. Anyone seen our YouTube clip yet? Okay, for those of you who've seen it, it's always a goodie, but for those who haven't, it's a good treat. Talk about some of the challenges before. So the first thing we do is really provide advice and assistance to industry and government. So we try to be the voice of industry, and that's where the valuable input that people in this room give us is, because we can package that up and pass the information as Ian does to state government, and we try to do it to national government and national initiatives. And our eScan is our main output to do that, though we do a hell of a lot of other policy inputs and writings and suggestions. Probably the growth area is workforce development. I was having a chat to a couple of you earlier, and I'll talk more about it later, but the national policy seems to be shifting from funding training for training's sake to funding the application of skills in the work. Our sector got $31 million last year. We got it this year for the sector, and hopefully we can keep that up over the next 4 years of the life of the fund. Our core work, and I haven't used the word training package deliberately. I think it's a horrible term because it doesn't describe what's in there. It's got really little to do with training. It's a set of job standards made up of units of competence that are packaged into qualifications. And you can do a hell of a lot more with these than just training, and I'll talk a little bit more about that as well. So I'd like to get rid of the term training package, because I think for us the focus, especially on the job standards, is going to be more important, especially that interface with the higher education professions, of which is already an overlap with nurses, because the Nursing and Midwife Accreditation Board are upping the standards for enrolled nurses to a diploma from what used to be the Cert 4, and so we're trying to build some pathways between up the nursing chain, I guess, into registered nurse. And generally, degreed professions don't talk in units of competence, though some do. They talk more about capabilities or job standards. So for us, as a sector, I think a job standard's perhaps a more inclusive term that will allow us to do some pathways, but I can converge on that more often. A lot of stakeholder management. So we've got something like 7,000 stakeholders on our database, and we know it's not accurate. We're spending a whole shed load of money to get a proper customer relationship management tool, so we can try and find out who we're talking to and who we're missing out on. And then the brokering. So as I said, we've got $31 million worth of NWDF. We've got about $4 million of EBPPP still sloshing around, and we think there'll be a lot more money coming out of this space.